What does the fridge store have in store today? We have Forgenesis. And here we have Forgenesis. Your design team and art team is featured on top, and it was on the title card before this. Let's get this popped open and dispersed out. Alrighty. You are a forger, and your specialty is creating creature figures of steel and wood. After the rigorous and sweltering work of hammering and polishing is completed, you breathe life into the figurines and use them in a game of wits against others in order to determine who is the most capable forger of all. Each creature has unique strengths, and as they are summoned from their furnace caves, players will direct them on the board as they attempt to reach their opponent's corner. Here's your components, your setup, creature status, gameplay, or you can do a refresh creature's turn, winning the game, and all of the creature's abilities. You have this fancy map here, like such. And then you have these wood discs that feature the creatures. Let's get those separated by color. You have the same ones in each color. There's those. And as you can see, here's the other ones. This is their active side, and then they each have an inactive side. There we go. Sounds good. Stick around, and I'll show you how it plays. Alright, you'll have the board set up in the middle. You're going to have the corners towards the people who are playing it. You are then going to give each person the 6 matching colored creatures. One person is then going to randomly remove 2 from the game. The last person to craft something will be the start player. They will then choose one of their opponent's creatures and put it on one of the summoning areas, and then that player will do the same to the other player. The starting player now performs the first turn of the game. You're going to alternate taking turns. The active player must perform either an activate creatures and summon turn or a refresh creatures turn. If they perform the activate creatures and summon turn, they may perform an action phase and or then a summon phase. At least one creature must be activated or summoned during this turn. If you do an activation phase, you can do one of 2 things. You can move the creature, or you can activate its ability. You are going to do this for every creature you have out. When you move, they move orthogonally. However, they may not move closer to their base. They always must move further away. Or you can have the monster do its ability. Each ability is different. I'll cover those after I explain everything else. Just know that when you move, they remain active. However, if you use their ability, they become inactive. That leads then, after you do your actions by moving or doing an ability, you may then summon a creature by putting it on the board. You can choose just to activate or just to summon. However, you need to do at least one of those with one creature during this turn. Otherwise, you do a refresh action. A refresh action is you look at your inactive ones and you flip them over to their active side. You're going to be going back and forth until one person has landed their creature on your base, in which case your opponent wins. Let's go over what each of these creature special abilities are. Alright, let me just throw out a couple of my opponents. We'll just go right there. The Beetle. What the Beetle allows you to do is you can shove an orthogonally adjacent creature so that the target moves 1 space away from the Beetle. So if I did it on the Snake, I would push him off the board, and he is actually then removed from the game. However, he's here, I would just push him over there. That is the Beetle. The Bird. The Bird can move to any empty, diagonally adjacent space. So instead of just moving orthogonally, this one can fly diagonally. The butterfly, you perform the ability associated with any orthogonally adjacent creature. So for instance, if I had my beetle right there, my butterfly could actually use his power to push that snake. The firefly, you can target a creature that is in the same orthogonal line as a firefly and has no other creatures between it and the firefly, and then you move it until they are next to. So even if the snake was all the way over here, it'd bring it over there. The other thing is, it just says targets a creature, so I, in theory, could target my own and bring it across, like such. The frog. The frog can jump over one space that has an opponent in it, or an adjacent creature. So this one, instead of having to move only there, if you activate its ability, it jumps. I will note it needs to have a creature here. You can't just activate its ability to jump. And then the last one is the snake. What happens with the snake is that this will swap locations with an orthogonally adjacent creature. So there you go. That is how you play Forgenesis. Hope you enjoyed this one. Go ahead and check the previous 2 days where I have covered the other cans in the Soda Pop collection. I have one more day left to go, which is tomorrow. If you're watching this in the future, all the links are down below for all of the various ones that we have done. Until next time, Forge on!